Yeah, it is the DVE Morning Show. Jim and Randy. And Steve-O, you know him from Jackass, MTV's Wild Boys. He's at the Improv all weekend long. He's in studio with us right now. And I wanted to talk about what you're doing on stage this weekend, because when I heard you were coming into town, I'm like, what's he going to do? Is he going to do, like, the stuff from Jackass on stage?
Yeah, there's some of that, man. Like, I'm doing stand-up and telling jokes and stories, and it's not like regular stand-up because everything I say is like it actually happened, you know.
So like storytelling.
Sure, yeah, like the time when I got. I don't know. I gotta be careful about how I word stuff. Like,
Right.
There's all like true stories, you know. Like, this one time about like 3 girls that went down on me. Does that make sense? So you can say that.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do it this way. Here's how I'll phrase it for you.
Like that.
3 girls. You were with 3
something.
girls who emulated Monica Lewinsky.
Yeah. Maybe that. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It is
General,
what it is, man. Like,
non-descriptive. Yeah.
you know, it's tough to describe the stand up without like trying to like do all the bits. Like
Right.
But I do a set of stand up comedy, and it's everything I say is true. And then I do a set of tricks and stunts, and that part like there's like sort of clever, impressive, and then there's sort of scary and dangerous, and then there's silly and painful,
Yeah.
and then there's over the top, like bring the fire extinguisher now.
Oh, good. All right, so it's on- yeah. Well, I got to tell you, the guy who's working with you, Mike Wysocki's a regular on our show, and his dream is to get hit in the groin.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
if you want to do that, go
All
ahead.
right.
You can use him for any
Dream.
stunts you have tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he loves that.
It's a real variety show, man. And I've been on tour with it since November, and it just keeps getting better and better. So, like,
Do you have other people involved? Like, is it just you doing stuff, or do you have like your own crew?
it's I mean, there's the comics that open up, and
Right.
then there's and during my part, like, I mean, I'll pull some people out of the crowd a little bit, but I'm not really kicking people in the nuts or anything.
Right.
But yeah, like I'll mess with the crowd a little bit, and then after the show's over, then like say if it's a 2-show night, like I won't start the second show until I've taken a picture with everybody that wants one. Like pretty much, you know, it's the equivalent of inviting the entire crowd backstage. You know, like I just stay there, and like every person who wants a picture or wants me to sign something. Like,
I saw a ton on Facebook and Twitter last night from last night.
Yeah, and if anybody's, you know, I feel kind of weird saying like, yeah, I'm hilarious, you know, my stand-up's amazing, but you know, don't take it from me. Like, if you just check online and see what people are saying, like, don't you have someone from the show here that was there last night, or is that the other station?
Wasaki, that's what we were saying.
Yeah. No,
Oh no, Bobby and one of those guys might have
Yeah.
made last night's show.
But
But the thing is, when you're saying like the stunts on stage and everything, and I find it fascinating too with the movies, because I did think because some of the stuff was like. It could be an illusion or stunts that stunt guys do. But you said it's real. That's
yeah, we don't fake anything on Jackass, man. On Wild Boys, we would we'd say here we are in Africa, and really we were in California, and like the lions would be like some from a company called like Hollywood Animals or something.
But the actual stunts are
but yeah, I mean
real.
like there's they might have been captive lions in California, but they're still lions, you know. Yeah, and with Wild Boys we took liberties about saying we were in certain places when we weren't. But with Jackass, like there's just full integrity, and I think that if we tried to fake anything on Jackass, it would be obvious, you know. So yeah, it's all real, man.
Steve-O's at the Improv tonight through Sunday. Saturday's almost sold out, so you guys can get on tickets if you want to go. 412-462-5233. 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow,
Yeah.
1 on Sunday. Steve-O.com.
I gave away some tickets yesterday, and I'm gonna give away some more tickets on. So I'm Steve-O minus the hyphen at Twitter. Like I've got the little check, you know, it's like I'm verified or whatever.
Did someone
Like,
try to squat on your Twitter name or anything like that?
I don't know.
Which
what
might
that
be a
means.
trick you want to try for Jackass, squat on a Twitter name. Like the fake Steve-O out there. Or
Oh
anything
yeah,
like
no,
that?
there was, and then I'm new to Twitter, man. So whoever was running the Steve-O thing threw in the towel, and Twitter said, hey, do you want the name Steve-O? And I was like, sure, yeah. So I'm Steve-O at Twitter. And get on there, and it's really a little bit lame. People are like, I said yesterday, whoever like makes me laugh, like writes something interesting, like sort of earns a ticket. And then all anybody writes is, how do I win tickets? It's
Not like that.
Yeah, it's like I don't even reply to how do I win tickets. Like write something dumb or whatever. Figure that there's more people than you trying to get the tickets, and write something that's going to make me want to give you the tickets. That's how you do it.
Steve-O, what a lot of people don't know about, you were born in London.
That's right.
And you grew up, but you were raised a little bit in Brazil. You spoke Portuguese first, right?
Yeah, I grew up in 5 countries, man. I was born in England, and my mom was born in Canada. My dad was born in America, so I have 3 passports. I'm triple national. I moved to Brazil when I was 6 months old, moved to Venezuela when I was 2, moved to Connecticut when I was 4, to Miami when I was 6, to London when I was 9, Toronto when I was 12, back to London when I was 13. I had all 4 years of high school in London, England. So yeah, it's like people ask me where I'm from. It's like, I'm not really from anywhere, man.
But yeah,
I call Florida home.
It's funny. You're such a down to earth guy and a big star, and I feel comfortable asking anything. I'm sitting there thinking. I remember reading. Did one of you guys in the cast? Did one of you guys sleep with Jessica Simpson?
One of us claimed to have.
Bam.
All right. Bam. Okay,
Bam claimed to have, right?
I don't know.
I didn't do anything like that. Bam is pretty confident in his claim, and then he's kind of blurted it out, and then realized that might have been kind of a party foul, so he started denying it. But then Bam's dad called up the radio station and says, "My son said he did. My son doesn't lie to me." In the middle of Bam trying to recant the story, Phil came running in to assure everyone of Bam's integrity for the truth.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say now, Dad.
Quiet. No.
Yeah. Oh, man.
You guys all kind of abused his parents somehow. How did that all become part of it, where you guys just
I don't know. I don't know if you can say we all did, But that's kind of how Bam showed up on the scene, It was
really?
The very first episode of Jackass had Bam beating up his dad.
I remember that.
That footage was originally shot for some obscure skateboard video, probably 15 years ago or something.
Well, how did you get into it? You submitted a video.
Yeah, well, I grew up skateboarding, and at one point it dawned on me that I wasn't that great at skateboarding, but I decided to kind of put down the skateboard but keep rolling with the video camera. And so my goal was to film stuff, because even skateboarders can't watch an hour of pure skateboarding without being bored with it. So skateboard videos have always had this comic relief kind of random sort of attitude driven footage to break up the monotony of it all, and I made that my mission in life, to be the guy, the comic relief in the skateboard videos. So Jeff Tremaine was working for this skateboard magazine, Big Brother. He was the editor in chief. And they were making these over-the-top, ridiculous skateboard videos. And he one day went to Spike Jonze and said, everybody loves our Big Brother skateboard videos, but nobody cares about the skateboarding. So I feel like if we just take out the skateboarding, then what's left over would be a great TV show. And that's exactly what happened, man. Took out the skateboarding from the Big Brother videos. What was left over was Knoxville, me, Pontius, and Wee Man. And Bam was doing a real similar thing with his CKY videos. So we just kind of merged camps.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
There's been 4 spinoff shows from Jackass, basically, with Bams and Wild Boys, and
I had one, a short-lived one on the USA Network, which came after Monday Night Wrestling on the Monday Night Raw, and it did great. It retained 72% of the wrestling audience. It won first place in its time slot on basic cable. On paper, it was a super successful show, but I was just simply so out of control. I was really pulling some major Charlie Sheen stuff.
Oh, at that time,
at that time,
crazy going on. Okay.
It was, I think, almost unprecedented for a show with that low of a budget to do that well on paper to get canned after just one season. So it was a direct result of me acting a lot like Charlie Sheen.
Were you just going up for 6 days in a row.
Oh, sure, man, sure. And like I remember, like there was one time we went to a sperm bank and filmed a porn star giving fellatio to one of the guys I was working with on the show, and then I was informed that they weren't going to show this after wrestling on the USA Network. You know, they weren't even going to show the girl like going lower and allude to it. And so I went nuts, and I was like, oh man, and I put together this email list of like 100 of the most like influential people in the entertainment industry that I know, like celebrities and like just reporters and all, like Harvey Levin, like all this, like it was crazy, and I just started blasting this list of like the 100 most important people I knew. And I just kept blasting, and I'd stay up for days and days on end, and just I was out of control, man. And it was to that same email list that I ultimately sent the email saying like, I'm gonna jump out my window and splat on the concrete, and I'm ready to die. And that was the email that they printed up when they took me to the psych ward, and they handed over these emails. They're like, so that qualified me for the 5150 hold.
So someone come in and just probably brought you to
Johnny Knoxville.
brought you in?
They showed Johnny Knoxville reached out to Dr. Drew, who was also on my list. And he said, hey, man, like, we got to get in there and do something with Steve-O. And Dr. Drew said, that's absolutely right, man. You got to get in there or he's dead.
So did you work with Dr. Drew? Or did
Dr. Drew
only...
he was never my doctor. Like, he won't be a doctor to someone he's friends with.
Oh.
But
You're friends with him?
Sure, I've been friends with Dr. Drew for ages, man. Like before I got sober, Dr. Drew came to my the premiere for Jackass #2 with me. I rolled up in a limo with Dr. Drew, Ron Jeremy, my dad, my sister, my 4-year-old niece. Got out of the limo, pulled out my wiener, and peed all over the red carpet.
Now a guy like Dr. Drew, did he pick up obviously at that time? Because you were pretty heavy. Was he like looking?
Right. He knew what was going on, but he's pretty careful not to not to like overwhelm people who aren't ready. Like he just recognized that I wasn't ready. And then when Knoxville called him up, and Dr. Drew said, yeah, you got to do something or he's dead. And Dr. Drew's, I think, specific. Whatever his assessment of the situation was, that I was, quote, too psychiatrically disturbed to have any kind of a rational conversation with. So he told Knoxville, he said, just go over to Steve-O's apartment, do whatever you have to do, beat him up, tie him up, whatever it takes, put him in the trunk, and get him to the hospital.
Did you want to beat up Johnny?
Well, no, Johnny showed up with 8 guys, and he made it. Yeah, it's crazy, man. He showed up with the Jeff Tremaine, the director of Jackass, the Dimitri, the director of photography, Trip Taylor, the executive producer, the sound guy, the camera guy. And then, I mean, it was like the whole crew of Jackass showed up to stop me from hurting myself after they helped me hurt myself for 10 years. Yeah. And Knoxville led the intervention. This is another thing. I joke about it on stage, man. Like, you have a serious problem when Johnny Knoxville is your interventionist. It's bad. Yeah, man. Like, so they took me into the psych ward, and man, like there's 2 wings on the psych ward. There's one for like the people who are sort of standard issue, harmful to themselves or others, and then there's like the something else wing, like the roll around in your own poo wing.
I think you're Napoleon wing.
Yeah, I was in there, man. Like I was on the something else wing.
Did you recognize that you weren't nearly as crazy as these people?
I was crazy in a different way, maybe, but I was nuts, man. There's no question.
But do you think it was drug-fueled sort of mania?
Yeah. I mean, they were talking about like, I'm suffering from bipolar disorder. And, I believe today that if you pile that much chemicals into anybody, they'll be bipolar too,
You have to rewire your brain so it doesn't heal.
Yeah, it's like a chemical imbalance, from just putting so much drugs in there, really. But, yeah, man.
3 years sober.
3 years sober.
Well, congratulations, man. That's
great.
Yeah,
man. Thanks
I mean, you look healthy, and I wish you nothing but success, man.
Absolutely.
You're a
I
nice
appreciate
guy.
that, man. Yeah.
Go out and see your show. It's gonna be a great show.
Yeah, definitely, man. And like I said, jump on Twitter and be the person who stands out. Is I've got to give this person tickets, and, I'll make that happen.
What's your Twitter account again?
It's Steve-O, just without a hyphen.
No hyphen. All right,
Just
at Steve-O.
Steve-O.
With
Good
Mike
deal.
Wysocki. What a great show, man.
Improv.com or call 412-462-5233. Saturday's almost gone. If you're planning on going then, you better hurry up and get on it when the box office opens today or get your tickets online. There's tickets available for tonight's 2 shows and one on Sunday as well. Steve-O.
Thanks.
Best of luck,
Thanks,
man.
Steve-O.
Hey, man,
Right
thanks
on.
so
Great
much,
seeing
guys.
you, man.
All right,
I
Sean
appreciate
Collier
it.
on the way for you. Love